in fact, Ratcatcher was an idea I had of my own for a superhero because I was
Really?
basing it off Rat King from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, who's the guy that lives in the sewer and like lives and like communicates with rats.
Mm.
So I was gonna like take that, but I was gonna make it more brutal. And then Ratcatcher showed up, and I was like, "Well, fuck, DC beat me to the punch by like 60 years again."
Welcome to Fanboy and the Snob. We weren't planning on doing a video on this, but we both watched the movie and decided
Why not talk about it? Because
it didn't suck.
I went into it thinking, I went into it and I said out loud as the movie started, well, it can't be worse than the first one. But I wasn't expecting anything else.
I am very happy he didn't do it as jokey as Guardians.
Yeah, I like that the quips were toned down and appropriately used. I like that he did the opposite of what Snyder does, where the music works, you know?
I will say I am getting a little tired of them putting real songs in movies. I think he did a good job in this
He was
movie.
trying to make this a Vietnam movie. Did you catch that? Because all the songs were from like the 60s and 70s.
Really?
Yeah, he was going for a Viet. All they needed was a Fortunate Son to play, and it would have been a Vietnam movie.
Yeah. But this fucking movie starts out. You get all these characters.
You get this dude called Savant sitting in a jail cell, bouncing a ball around, and then
Poor
a
birdie.
little golden finch lands in the corner, and he bounces the ball, and it goes like tat 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 tat, and then kills the golden finch. And then you go, okay, so he's a bad guy. Really good way to start, actually.
Yeah.
Like you see this guy bouncing a ball, and you're like, what's he in prison for? And the way movies are nowadays, you see a man in prison, and you're like, he's innocent, right? Because that's how all movies are now. But nope, he deserves to be in prison. He's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And then he gets recruited for the Suicide Squad, and it does a little like roll call thing and tells you everyone in the Suicide Squad. It's fucking...
Like, I think it was making fun of the first movie.
Yeah.
With that, to be honest. Like, just flat out just making fun of it.
Yeah, I agree. I think that was good. But they show like, you know, Harley being Harley and Rick Flag being Rick Flag and fucking, that was a Blackguard. What was Idris Elba? Bloodshot?
Bloodsport.
Bloodsport. Who is a real comic book character? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's a D-list character.
But he's recent though, I thought. Recently created. That's why I don't know him. Blackguard I know is from the 60s. He wears like a fucking like future suit, so I don't know whatever, he dies, so it's fine. Weasel, who is originally a guy who dressed up as a weasel in like an augmented suit. And then as time went on, he stopped taking the suit off. So I guess this is like a version where the suit never existed. He just turned himself into a weasel. Who else is on the team?
Well, Idris Elba's not in the beginning team.
TDK?
It's, yeah, Nathan Fillion.
TDK. Javelin, who's that great German comedian who's Otto something or whatever. I always forget his name. German comedy's weird. It's because it's German, right? And they speak a completely different language than us. They pace their jokes a little differently. So like the first 10 minutes you're listening to this guy, you're like, what the fuck? And then by the end, you're like, okay, you're actually a master at what you do. You're actually really good at comedy. And he always tells very weird jokes.
What's his name? Pete Davidson?
Pete Davidson's in this.
I like how they make him just a total piece of shit in the movie because he sucks in real life.
Yeah, I was so... like
he when just sells something. Basically, they all land on the thing. Weasel falls in the water and
drowns. And they have that great scene where Flag is like, "Did anyone check if fucking Weasel could swim?" And then Waller just kind of like looks at her team, and the team were like, you know.
And this whole scene's in the point of view of what's his name? Michael Rooker's guy.
Yeah.
It's in the whole point of view of him, so he goes
it's not in his POV, but it's centered
on
him.
Yeah, he's like the main... He makes it seem like he's the main character.
He's your setting piece.
Yeah.
And
so basically, it shows them dropping in. He goes, rescues Weasel, brings him to the thing. Then you see everybody other than Rick Flag, like, getting on the island, being like, what the fuck?
Yeah. No,
well, Harley was kind of...
And Boomer got up there pretty easy, too.
I was so mad
I was so fucking mad they killed Captain Boomerang.
He was great.
He was cool.
He's campaigning to get his own thing.
I like him as a character in the comics, even.
Yeah.
Like...
the Boomerangs are awesome in this movie.
I love all Boomerang-themed villains. Even Boomerang in Marvel is fucking awesome.
Yeah, but in this movie, it was way better because they actually had like the cool magic boomerang things he would throw.
No, well, they're not magic. They're just bladed, and he's really good at throwing them.
Yeah, but they were like shiny and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but basically everybody dies.
Yeah, everyone.
Savant.
Harley gets captured. Fucking.
Savant tries to swim away because they do the whole thing where he's like fucking amateurs and everything. Then he sees everybody dying and he like has a panic
He has
attack
the
and
panic
just
attack.
runs away.
He tries to swim away, and then he gets his head popped, and a bird eats his brain.
Ugh.
Javelin is standing there on the beach, just like, what the fuck's happening? And he gets lit up, and then he gives Harley the javelin.
And he's like, you are the only one meant to do this, blah, blah, blah. And he
God told me to give this to, and then he dies.
Stop, 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 stop.
It's like, who? Which I was like, that's kind of...
I thought that was good.
I thought that was stupid.
It's Harley.
But that joke's been done 1 billion times.
Yeah, whatever.
Like, to the point of where I saw the joke coming a mile away, and I was like, I bet the comedian who's dying right now went, I have some ideas for something different. And they were like, no, do this. So it's revealed that the first team, the team that we spent the first 20 minutes of the movie getting to know, they give us everyone's backstory. They like show them like on the helicopter, like, what is Weasel? And they're like, he's a werewolf. And they all freak out and they all laugh. And they're like, oh, they're buddies. Fucking, they're all trying to figure out what TDK stands for.
That scene when just the arms go, he just starts slapping everybody. When he's getting shot till you see Nathan Fillion on the ground, like,
Yeah, because they just start shooting his arms.
I don't think they were like a, what's it called, a distraction team. I think that was her main team that was going in, and the second team was if shit went wrong.
No, I think...
Because she didn't know what's his name was going to sell them out.
Yeah, I think she sent 2 teams in because that's what you're supposed to do. You send in the primary team and then the backup team in case the primary team gets fucked on like we watched. Yeah. TDK is supposed to be Arm Fall Off Boy from the Legion of Superheroes. And his whole thing is he hangs out outside the Legion of Superheroes headquarters. And it's like, come on, let me join the team. And they're like, no, man. And then one time they're all out on a mission and the headquarters gets attacked and he saves the day. So they make him an honorary legionnaire, but he's still not a legionnaire. And in the comic, his power is even worse. He pulls his arm off and uses it like a club.
Oh, he can't float him?
No. He pulls his arms off and uses them like weapons.
So stupid.
Yeah, I know, right? So he like shows up where there's like Astro Girl who can levitate and blow things up with her mind. And they're like, you're okay. No, we don't need you, Arm Fall Off Boy. You know?
I am sad. I wanted to see more Nathan Fillion.
Yeah, I think it's fine. I think he got the perfect amount of screen time.
Mm.
Because if he had more, his character would have not been funny anymore.
Well, not for the characters, the actor in general.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure he got paid a lot to do that.
Well, he's buddies with James Gunn. So.
Yeah, so he definitely... Gunn was like, hey, you want a cameo? And he was like, yeah. And he was like, pay you a lot of money. Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like, and I know Red Letter Media kept repeating this over and over and over again, but I had the exact same thought. DC finally realized that sometimes let your director direct.
Yeah.
You know, just let him do what he wants.
Now, I'm really curious to see what James Gunn does when he goes back to Marvel.
If he goes back to Marvel.
He is. He's doing the holiday special with Guardians, and he's on board to make the next Guardians movie.
Now, maybe he was still under contract after the Twitter mob ran him off.
No, this is recent news. It's all announced.
Oh. Well, he can't go make a rated R Marvel movie.
Oh, imagine... What rated R?
Blade. Blade would be the only one that would make sense rated R.
I don't know if I'd want to make a Blade movie, though.
No, I wouldn't want... I'm just saying, in terms of rated R Marvel movies, Blade's the only one that makes sense.
Yeah, or Punisher.
Yeah, but a James Gunn Punisher would suck.
No, a Blade Punisher would suck.
Blade Punisher would be an awesome movie.
No, you know what I mean. Shut up.
Blade Punisher would be so fucking cool.
Anyway, back to the movie. So they all die. Harley gets kidnapped, and
Rick Flag runs off into the woods and gets kidnapped.
So then it goes to the island, and all of a sudden
it goes to literally across the beach on the other
it's
side.
Like, Bloodshot, you're up.
Yeah, a Bloodsport's team shows up.
Bloodsport, thank you.
And it's Bloodsport, Polka Dot Man, King Shark, Ratcatcher 2. Didn't they have another?
Yeah, they have Peacemaker.
Didn't they have one more?
I don't think so. They had Milton towards the end.
I
love that scene.
That scene when they're in the office park, I went, oh, Milton's still there. Because he's the first one on camera.
See, for me, I remember seeing him lead off with the team, and I'm like, why is Milton following
That's what I
him?
would say. I was like, maybe that was just a thing. Like he's escorting them to the door, and then
He's
they're
like, oh, he's still there.
like, all right, Milton's part of the team.
But yeah, I don't know. Let's just talk about what works with this movie. I don't want to go through the story too much.
Yeah. Special effects are pretty okay.
I thought they were great for this. Fucking
Starro looked great.
Starro, all that shit looked good.
Starro looked amazing. The fucking squid on the face. I like the one where they show it detached from the face and the face is like melted away and there's these weird strings.
Well, the cool thing about this is like they didn't rely on what Marvel does, which is all CGI backgrounds.
Yeah.
They actually had sets. They had like cool shit going on.
They had a lot of cool shit going on in this movie. That scene where they take down the entire camp and it's like Bloodsport and Peacemaker like having a competition to see who can kill more.
It's an exploding bullet.
Goes,
Nobody likes to show off.
No, he goes, injured him. You lost. Exploding bullet.
He's like, nobody likes to show off. Yeah, but unless the show off is dope as fuck. He's like, fuck, that's right.
Fuck, that's good.
I laughed.
Yeah,
I laughed too much at that scene.
Those two had really good banter.
I was impressed with John Cena.
I mean, John Cena is still a man that I respect. He has a lot of dignity. He never bows to pressure, ever, under any circumstance. He's a man of morals and character.
Man, he was pushed into that.
Fuck him.
He was great.
He was great.
He's getting this TV show.
Art from the artist. Okay.
We love Tom Cruise.
We love Tom Cruise. We like Tom Hanks. We like...
What the fuck's wrong with Tom Hanks?
Oh, he's a pedophile. You didn't know that?
He is not.
If Mel Gibson was in the movie, I would have fucking shit my pants.
I wonder who Mel Gibson could play.
Just anyone. Just himself.
It's like, Mel, what are you doing here? Saving your asses. Let's go.
You're like, Mel, you're just an actor. And he's like, We Were Soldiers was real. And they're like,
I trained a lot in Braveheart. Give me your sword.
Okay. She screams freedom and starts hacking up fucking...
But I'm going to talk about some of the things that don't work in this movie because we've been kind of jerking it off this whole time. I feel like every Harley Quinn scene in this movie was better than Birds of Prey.
Obviously.
And if they made Birds of Prey and made that whole love stuff go on and make that the Birds of Prey movie, or make it the Harley Quinn movie, and then have it lead in the Suicide Squad.
I like you were like, I don't want to suck this movie's dick. Every scene in this movie with Harley Quinn was good. Like, that's what you just said.
No, I'm not done talking.
I
but
know.
all that Harley Quinn stuff when she goes with the guy and does all that stuff,
Presidente.
it just kind of dragged me out of the movie.
I liked where it was going. I thought them fucking was like kind of funny because Harley is just a dumb slut. But if you notice the whole time she was fucking him, the property of Joker tattoo was like big and center screen the whole time. And then when they break the gun display case, I was like, no, it's happening. And then she's like, when I see red flags, I promise. And it's like, bitch, you kill children. Don't get to sit there and sit,
She's a fucking psycho.
You're a murderer. Like, you don't get to sit there and play high ground.
Kids.
In the comics, her and Joker kill an entire troop of Boy Scouts with poison popcorn.
This is Margot Robbie's.
Yeah, I know. Margot Robbie's where, hey, what if Harley was a good guy? And it's like, that doesn't work.
No, I will say this is my favorite performance she's done as Harley.
She was super hot in this one, too. Like, way hotter than in the...
That stupid fucking costume in the first one.
And just like they toned down her makeup, which made her prettier. Yeah. Like, she didn't have, like, the caked on, disgusting
The first scenes when you saw her get on the helicopter and when she was in, like, the cool, like, armor thing, perfect.
Yeah.
I'm kind of upset they put her in a dress the rest of the movie.
Well, I kind of liked it because of course the general would dress the girl up in a dress, and Harley being Harley wouldn't give a fuck and would just keep the dress on. She took the heels off. Yeah. And just went her and
she grabbed the boots and stuff.
That scene was awesome because I was like, oh, that's clever. And then she uses the boots to fuck people up, and I was like.
This is the most badass you've seen Harley Quinn in a movie, though. Because, like, the first Suicide Squad movie, you're like, oh, she has a bat, and she's going to take out these... Why does she only have a bat?
Yeah, in this one, she's got guns and a javelin. She does that cool, like, Equilibrium. Is that movie with Christian Bale? Like,
Gung Fu.
She does that, and the camera...
people up with the javelin. She just sees it randomly in the hallway. She's like,
yes, that's my friend's javelin.
That was a cool scene. I liked when she was fucking them up in that.
And instead of spraying blood, it was like flowers and birds and stuff.
Yeah, it was a nicely edited scene, but I think it should have been the Harley Quinn movie.
And then I was watching it, and the person I was with was like, they were like, so what's Harley's power? And I was like, she's just really good at fighting. And he was like, that's lame. And I was like, yeah, but she fights Batman. And he was like, oh. And I was like, no, think about it. She fights Batman and wins sometimes. Not a lot of people can say that.
She's a fucking psychiatrist.
Yeah.
She's fucking nuts now, so she fucking...
She was Joker's psychiatrist. She got mentally tortured for years. And then there was a riot at Arkham and he electroshock therapied her and broke her brain. And now she's Harley Quinn.
Her accent was weird during the movie.
She was really playing up, what is that, Brooklyn?
Sometimes she would have it way over the top, and sometimes
It
was
wouldn't
very
be way
toned
over
down.
the top. It was like Ewan McGregor we were just watching in Black Hawk. Sometimes you'd hear his British come through.
Yeah.
Other times he was trying to talk with like a Queen's accent or something.
Yeah. But who's your favorite character in this movie? For me, it was Polka Dot Man. I love that actor. I always forget his name. I feel bad.
That's the obvious choice.
Oh, he was good.
Yeah, he was great. Everyone loved Polka Dot Man.
I do love John Cena.
I liked Peacemaker as well. I liked King Shark because he was kind of just doing...
I'm very upset I found out before I saw the movie that it was Stallone.
Oh, I didn't know going in. I tried to ignore this movie completely. I
Yeah.
knew Starro was going to be the villain. And I knew, because James Gunn was like, don't be surprised when your favorite character dies. So I was like, oh, well, John Cena's going to die.
Well, I only knew
yeah.
Starro was the villain because you see all the fucking pictures of the production.
Yeah.
Like all the countries, they have a giant Starro everywhere.
Starro was so cool. He was the Justice League's first villain.
I think he might be my favorite villain in any of the DC movies.
So far.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was just a giant fucking mind-controlling starfish. He wasn't a giant dumb CGI mon. Well, I mean, okay, how do I explain this? He wasn't a dumb CGI guy in a suit.
It wasn't just a guy with a helmet with horns, just like CGI monster fighting.
Yeah.
Like generic looking thing. It was actually like in-depth.
A giant, bright, colorful, big eye, like weird vagina armpits. Like, it was cool.
Yeah. We need more stuff like that.
Like, Marvel kind of was starting to do it. Like the beginning of Guardians where they're fighting the giant monster, but then they just go to like fight regular, like normal sized things. You know, it's like, I don't know. Most Avenger movies were just them fighting Guy, you know?
Yeah, but Thanos fight was different.
But Thanos was a well-written villain.
Yeah, but fucking Ultron just
sucked.
Oh, they didn't do Ultron justice.
And what was the first Avengers movie? Oh yeah, the giant
Loki.
fish and Loki.
That was so cool, and Hulk just like...
Yeah, they fight the giant fish, and you're like, whoa! And then they just fight Guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you have Hawkeye up there, like, blah, blah, blah.
That's what I'm saying. What? And then they fight Guy. This was fight guys, then giant starfish monster.
I love how King Shark just runs up and he's like, nom, 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 nom,
Yeah.
up the thing.
He starts climbing it, and Starro ignores him until he bites and starts tearing into Starro.
That was cool about Starro. He, like, if he noticed, like, they weren't a threat to him anymore, he just walked away.
Yeah. Because he was trying to fucking take over everyone's mind. He was like, you can't do anything about it. Giant starfish monster. Did you notice when Polka Dot Man shoots Starro, he blew that leg complete, meaning Polka Dot Man potentially could have taken Starro by himself.
Yeah, if he had more confidence, and he was like...
Yeah. And I saw that coming from a billion miles away.
Who cares?
I'm a superhero. I'm a motherfucking super squish. And he's the only, like, main character death on screen that you fucking see. For sure he's dead.
Yeah.
When and it's just a pile of mush.
I knew he was gonna die, but I was still very sad when he died.
Yeah.
Because he finally found a purpose.
Yeah.
And it's like...
He had some of the best scenes. Anytime he was, like, in the...
It's a rash.
I liked when he was in the club and he was surrounded by women.
Just the awkward dancing and all that.
He's surrounded by women, and then when he closes his eyes, they all turn into his mom, and that's when he gets into it. I was like, this character's awesome.
Well, at that point, he's wasted.
Yeah. I like
the little mouse. What was the mouse's name?
I don't remember.
I was very being like...
For like a little dumb CGI monster, like an anime girl kind of thing. You know how they all...
I thought it was going to be really annoying, but
Me
I think
too, but he did work.
He's offering you relief. Why the fuck would I want to leave?
It's
honestly the reactions to him that were
Idris
the best.
Elba played the fear of rats really good.
Why is that rat waving at me?
Yeah.
He's just trying to be nice.
Yeah, he's just trying to be nice, man.
I don't care. That rat was perfect. And people are trying to be like, that's the same rat from Infinity War where the rat turns on the thing for Ant-Man.
Two different universes.
No, it has the same like red thing on it. I guess I don't know. We'll go. I'll show you
Two
later.
different universes.
It's all connected.
It literally cannot
It's
be.
just a hint that Disney's going to buy Warner Brothers.
If Disney buys Warner Brothers,
I'll be
we're all
upset.
fucked.
Yeah, I'll be fucking.
Dude, are you excited for Disney's new product?
Talk about all that.
Because I'm not. I don't even know what it is. How far Disney bought everything and then like gave up, and it's like, oh, you don't understand. The fans are gonna look for the small.
We could talk about this another day.
We should talk about it on the Perdcast.
Yeah. But yeah,
I liked Peacemaker's character was. I knew Peacemaker.
He was great, dude.
Did you know him from the comics?
I read up on him before I saw it. It was two different kind of origins. You got
the Charleston comics, which is where Captain Marvel or Shazam, Peacemaker, Blue Beetle. The Charleston comic universe was supposed to be the setting for the Watchmen universe. Peacemaker was going to be comedian. Blue Beetle was going to be Owlman. Captain Marvel was going to be Ozymandias. Kind of like, one. But then DC bought them, and Alan Moore went, well, why don't I just make my own stuff up? And DC was like, fucking yeah.
It worked out for the best.
So way better.
I don't want those characters being.
Yeah. But so then they did the reimagining of the Watchmen comics a few years back, where the Peacemaker issue has him halo dropping into the White House to assassinate the president.
Yeah, he wasn't just some like weird guy who's
He was
like, I guess I have to do this.
No, he was like, he's Captain America. He's DC's version of Captain America, where he's so fucking American he commits war crimes.
I love the scene when he's in his underwear and he's like, why are you in your tidy whities? That's racist.
I like the if it means I have to kill every man, woman, and child.
Eat every dick on
No, that scene sucked. But it was the one where he's like, I will kill every man, woman, and child if it means I bring peace. And it's like, bro, no.
That's America.
That's not how it works. Come on, didn't you watch Black Hawk Down? That's not how it works, man.
How do you mean that nuts?
I mean, there are people out there.
Oof. Well, who was your favorite character?
I said King Shark.
King Shark?
Because he just didn't really do much.
They made you feel so bad for him.
That's what I mean.
That's why at the end when you started chopping, then you see him walk after Starro died, he's just walking up all proud and everything. I was like, yeah.
I liked when I was waiting for him.
He raised his hands like, huh?
I was waiting for him to have like a character arc, because he's reading the book upside down, and he's like, me read book very interesting. I was expecting him to when they're really in the shit with Starro, for him to be like, all right, guys, drop the act or whatever.
Yeah.
So it would be like,
I think they did a good job. They made him be like,
he needed that moment where everyone was like, no,
he was the Drax in this movie. In Guardians, Drax just goes crazy. He's like,
He needed that moment where it wasn't just Ratcatcher saying she's his friend.
Yeah.
He needed that moment where the whole team comes up to him and they're like, good job, friend.
Well, he kind of did that at the end.
Not really, though. He needed that moment, though, because the whole time they're setting you up for him to get a friend. Even when he's meeting the little weird fish monsters, and he's like, friends.
That was so sad.
And he's like, he's having fun with them and shit, and then they all attack him.
When I was watching this movie, I was incredibly... So, when that scene happened, I'm like, he finally has friends.
Me too, actually.
Then the thing crashes, and I'm like, those fucking sons of bitches.
He has Dude, he is insanely strong. A building collapses on him.
He got fucking lit up.
Yeah. Oh, I thought he was going to die in that scene when he was laying on the ground getting shot.
Yeah, but I didn't see any blood, and I'm like, rated R, no blood.
But then I thought eventually it would pierce his skin or something.
Yeah.
After maintained fire, eventually you'd see a hole open up and it would be...
Well, he did get a lot of little...
Well, that's when the things bit him.
Oh, yeah.
Then he gets that cool splash page.
Dude,
that put the Sentinel splash page to fucking shame.
When I was watching this with my girlfriend, I'm like, that one scene with the drawback camera, him ripping the thing apart,
with the lightning behind him,
better than any Mortal Kombat fatality on that new movie.
Oh, in the new movie?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's Natara on the floor getting cut in half and Kung Lao smiling the whole time. That was pretty cool.
I love just the theatrics of it.
Yeah.
Sonic's fucking soup for it.
Sonic's fucking done with this shit, man.
But yeah, I love this movie.
Polka
I
Dot
didn't think
Man.
watching it, like, I will say, sorry to interrupt you. When they got to the Harley Quinn stuff, I looked at my watch and I'm like, oh my god, it's only been an hour. But after that scene, I was back into it.
Yeah, it's just I liked it because I haven't seen a superhero movie in a while. I skipped Black Widow.
Yeah, I won't watch Black
I
Widow.
skipped Captain Marvel.
I still haven't seen the whole thing.
The last one I saw was Snyder Cut. So I was like, okay, let's see how this goes. And I've been watching that Superman and Lois show, and that Superman and
So
Lois
good.
it
You
has
love
its,
it. Fuck you.
it's the only show I'm watching on TV right now because I don't really watch TV besides Jeopardy.
Mm.
So,
Fucking hell. That guy's making so much money.
dude, I mean, he's no James or Austin, but he's pretty fucking
Fifth
good.
best. But anyway, yeah, I recommend this movie.
I'd recommend it if you want to watch a superhero movie that's like really violent, really funny, interesting characters, really unique. That's what I really hope. I really hope this kind of like makes Marvel and DC realize, like, sure, Batman's cool, but yo, what if you made a Booster Gold Blue Beetle movie? You know, like nobody knows much about them, so only the diehard comic book fans will be upset when you change things.
Well, that's the thing. Like, there's been so many Batman movies. It's kind of hard to be like make it exciting.
Because it's the same. It's
Which
the
I
it's
don't
the
think the
Spider-Man.
Robert Pattinson movie's gonna be that good.
It's the Spider-Man problem.
No, Spider-Man could be good, but they never go in the right direction. Raimi was the closest to it.
Well, Raimi was also the first.
Yeah, and ever since then it hasn't. I want to see Peter being Peter and having the stuff happen around him.
But we can't do another origin story.
Doesn't have to be. Just have to do.
Also, you have to set it in the pre-established Marvel Cinematic Universe,
That's the worst.
where Hank Pym ain't that big a deal and Tony Stark does everything. They give him the Iron Spider suit at the end of the first fucking movie. And then he uses it.
Yeah.
It's part of Peter Parker's whole thing is he's supposed to realize, like, I don't need the tech. You know, I can do this.
I really hope the new one's good.
It won't be.
Yeah, if they get Toby back,
It won't be. It's I want to see more like C and D list superheroes and villains doing things. I would watch a Justice Society of America movie in a fucking heartbeat.
I just want a blue and gold.
Blue and Gold would be amazing. Justice League International with like Guy Gardner and Batman's on the team, right? So Batman's on the team, but Martian Manhunter, Guy Gardner, Fire and Ice. These two Brazilian twins, one has ice powers, one has fire powers, and they're like outrageously sexy.
I like the Constantine movie, with Keanu Reeves, but it wasn't a Constantine movie.
No, it was totally different, but it was still fun.
Like, I don't know, I love that movie, but I want to see a real Constantine movie.
I think that's actually the reason I enjoyed Stargirl so much.
Constantine?
No, well,
I don't know if he's in it.
no, he was in the Flash crossovers. I like the Stargirl show so much because it's fucking C, D tier fucking people.
Yeah.
Like, who's ever heard of Star and Stripe? Only me, you know, like.
Well, that's a good thing. Like, they're not really established that much, so.
No, they were established 30 years ago.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
People won't get that upset if, like, you update them a little bit.
And I didn't mind the updates they made because the robot still looked like fucking Stripe.
Hmm.
Star is still just like a fucking teen girl. I mean, she doesn't dress as slutty as she does in the comics, which is
Good thing.
probably for the best,
Yeah.
but I mean, I'm a little upset. It was so weird. There's some like Alex Ross art from the JSA where you're like, that's a 14-year-old girl, man, and why am I almost seeing her vagina?
DC didn't tell him she was that young.
No, Alex Ross is just like, I don't fucking care. I'm painting. Fuck off. Do you want it or not? And then DC's like, fuck, it's good. All right. Yeah, we need it. Shit.
Yeah. But anyway, the only thing I really have a negative is just kind of throwing you way off momentum with that Harley stuff.
It needed that moment, though.
It could have been shorter.
I didn't like the time skipping.
Wait, that felt comic booky though.
It felt in the chapters too.
Yeah.
I feel like that's gonna be a thing now with DC, where every movie's gonna have chapters because Snyder Cut had chapters and it was successful.
I wouldn't mind.
It's just like,
if it makes sense in the story.
me, the chapters thing is Tarantino's bit.
Yeah.
Also, it kind of feels overplayed to the point of where it's almost like the record scratch freeze frame. I bet you're wondering
but
how I got here.
The
you
way
know?
James Gunn stylized it, it worked.
I did like the way he styled, like where the leaves would spell out the chapters. But
Yeah.
I showed you the opening of Big Bad Wolves, right?
Oh.
That Israeli torture film. It does this scene where, like, after the little girl gets kidnapped, it pans over the house that she was hiding in, and in the moss it says "Big Bad Wolves."
That's cool.
Yeah, but it wasn't CGI. Like, he planted the moss there. He did that weird thing.
Wow.
Yeah, so it looks super cool.
But I want to see James Gunn make more movies.
I mean, yeah,
I love James Gunn.
He's never not going to make movies. He's established.
No, like he said he wants to make. I meant to say more DC movies.
Oh no, he's
already on board for another DC movie, and I feel like he'd be a great Booster Gold director. I think he could get the humor down.
Booster Gold would be such a good movie to make. Just start it with him getting injured on the football field. Start it with him watching him get injured on the football field while he's working his security job at the Justice League fucking museum. Just walking around with a flashlight. Then he sees Skips in the Booster Gold costume, and he goes, "Fuck it." Smashes it, puts it on, travels through time. Little does he know it's his costume that's in, you know?
That's cool.
Yeah. And then he goes back in time and he tries to help Superman fight Doomsday, and he just gets his shit pushed in. And then Superman's like, "Who are you? What are you doing? You suck at this. Go away."
Oh,
it's literally what Superman does. He goes, "If you stay here, you're gonna die." And then Booster Gold was the first hero to respond to Doomsday.
That's cool.
Because he looked at the clock on Skips and he was like, "Oh, Doomsday, this is the guy that kills Superman. All right." And tries to go fight him. It just gets wrecked.
Genius storylines for DC Comics. Booster Gold goes back and changes certain events, so the timeline gets changed.
Well, that's Flash's shtick.
It'd be funny if Booster Gold, because he could fuck up.
Yeah.
Make things worse, make things better.
Dude, there's that one where Booster Gold, not Maxwell Lord, the other guy, and Blue Beetle are traveling in the time sphere through DC comic continuity, and they stumble upon Psycho Pirate and Parallax in the process of destroying the universe back during Final Crisis, and they're rolling by him, and it's like panel, and it's like Parallax and him are in the middle like this, and then it's like the first panel they're zooming by, it's them in the middle, and then it's Parallax and Psycho Pirate looking at Booster Gold and Blue Beetle, and they're like just trying to get the fuck out of there because it's fucking Parallax and Psycho Pirate, like universe-ending threats. And then Psycho Pirate's like, "The fuck was that?" And they're like, "No, we go back to trying to kill everything."
But then this video, I'm glad you thought this too. I thought the ending was going to be Superman just coming in.
Yeah, I thought the Justice League was going to show up at the end because Starro was the first Justice League villain. You know,
it would have been probably the best way to end the movie, with the way James Gunn was pretty much filming it.
It should have been like, as soon as Bloodsport was like, "All right, let's do this," and he gets his gun ready, a giant green boxing glove should have punched Starro in the head.
Superman's.
And then, yeah, the lasers from this side.
Batman's just like, boom, Batman's doing nothing.
No. It would have been better if it was just the giant green fist and it knocks Starro to the ground, and then he gets lifted up and you see Superman underneath him flying him into space, and then you see Green Lantern follow him.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, and they just take him up to space to beat the shit out of him. Or like Lantern goes in front of the Suicide Squad and he's like, "You boys did good," and then flies away, and then Harley, and then Harley goes, "What a jackass," you know, like, "Your costume's dumb," as he's flying away.
But yeah, good movie.
Great
Watch it.
movie. Yeah, great. Good.
I call it an 8.5.
Dude, it's definitely one of the best DC movies. Which
I think this and Shazam might be one of my favorites.
It's like Shazam, this, and the Snyder Cut.
Yeah.
Like, if you're gonna watch any DC superhero movies, Shazam, this, and the Snyder Cut.
Yeah. Man of Steel I liked. I like the Rated R Batman vs Superman.
They just weren't good movies, though. You can like them all you want, but objectively speaking,
cool things in them.
It doesn't matter, man.
I know.
Nazis.
Thanks for watching.